Okay, everyone. So time to go back to the agenda of this afternoon. So next speaker is Donnie Chong from NexusGuard. So Donnie is product and marketing director at NexusGuard. Is responsible for designing the company solutions for the enterprise. His broad 10 years experience includes both technology and telecommunication industries. Chong designed NexusGuard channel program and built global products in the portfolio of the company. His insights and expertise that led to the company to become one of the world's most trusted denial services product and solutions provider, suitable for premium customers from tier 1 companies, SMEs, and other type of service providers. And Donnie is going to join us to talk about the capabilities for denial services for the wireless ISPs. So welcome, Donnie. Great to have you on the agenda.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Donnie, and I hope everybody is having a nice day in Dubai. I was just looking up at the weather, and it seems like a beautiful day today. And I must say this is very interesting to me because I can't see anybody, and I'm sure people are looking at me right now in the public event. So I think this is a first for me. I would like to begin by welcoming everybody to the presentation today. And I was looking through the list of presentation topics on the agenda on the website, and I realized that my topic is going to be a bit of an outlier. My presentation today is on cybersecurity, and is titled Stepping Up DDoS Protection Capabilities for Wireless ISPs. As I introduce myself, my name is Donnie, and I'm Product Marketing Director at NexusGuard. And first off, a little bit about our company. We are a company that has been around since 2008, and till today remain one of the few companies that are dedicated to the art and business of DDoS detection and mitigation. So our offerings include security platform as a service, managed DDoS protection offerings for service providers, and then we also help our customers from all over the world build and train up their security operations center and teams. We are based in Singapore, and from our one data center that we began in 2008, we have grown to many scrubbing centers around the world. And we've also earned customers from all over the world, ranging from all industries, from small businesses to large ISPs and to even government as our customers. So moving on to our main topic today, for the better part of our presentation, I'll be talking about DDoS attacks, okay, and what it means to service providers like yourself. And for the most part, I'll be taking you through the basics of the DDoS attacks, and then I'll close the session with a simple overview of the solutions that NexusGuard have designed specifically for service providers. So to begin, what are DDoS attacks? How does it work, and why does it happen? For the uninitiated, DDoS is an acronym for Distributed Denial of Service. In a DDoS attack, a perpetrator's ultimate aim is to render your online service unavailable to folks that actually uses your service. Bear in mind, we're not yet at the stage of hacking or stealing data or defacing a website and so on. DDoS attack is all about impacting the availability of your service. And though it is always also true that it is usually used to mask other covert attacks that targets the integrity and the confidentiality aspect of your service as well. So how a DDoS look like is this? Okay, how it works. Imagine yourself accessing your favorite web service, say logging on to your news.com for your daily dose of world news. Now, while you are doing so, in some corner of the internet, hiding behind layers and layers of virtual private networks or VPN, is a hacker. So now this hacker is now sending his commands to a command and control center, which in fact is really just a compromised device. And upon receiving the instruction from this hacker, this CNC controller will now send out instructions to its botnet of its compromised computers, smartphones, CCTV cameras, routers, home routers, and other smart devices like TV, fridges, light bulbs, and so on and so forth. So these compromised devices, with the instructions from the CNC center, will now send synchronized requests or commands to your favorite media website. Okay, and then because these requests are so overwhelming, it has saturated the resources that the owner of the news.com website have allocated for, and that's when you as a user we'll start to experience symptoms like 404, found not found, timeout, and or even total unavailability. And this is not just limited to web pages, but it can happen for any internet applications, emails, video streaming, trading websites, and much more. As opposed to just a few years ago, when news of DDoS attacks are rare, nowadays reports on DDoS attacks are common. Okay, we now witness many and hear about and read about many incidents of DDoS attacks targeting a wide variety of organizations, including government, public services, banks, and many other service providers. And yet these are those just that are reported, and it's but a fraction of the total cases that we actually see out in the market today. We believe that all this growth and advancement is but an unavoidable byproduct of the world's internet advancement. ISP, telco backbones are consistently being upgraded, pushing the limits now to 400G backbones. More contents are being served and consumed, and then 5G being rolled out all over the world, as you guys are very aware. And as of writing this document and presentation, it's estimated that there are a total of about 35 billion IoT devices connected to the internet today. And all those resources are potentially there just for the hackers taking and then using them to launch even larger and more potent attacks. So these factors are a reason for the evolution of the DDoS attack we've seen over the past 10 years. Attack size has grown steadily from 1G, back in 2008, where we first started the business, to the hundreds of gigs of attacks that we see every other day today. And time to time, we also witness and hear about the terabit level attacks. And I think it's going to be safe to say in time to come, terabit scale attacks could become the norm, and then that's going to be the time where we hear about petabit attacks. Okay, I hope that will never come, but I think that's going to be unavoidable. We're also seeing attacks becoming longer and longer in duration, thanks largely due to the fact that our devices are no longer truly shut down anymore. They always go into sleep mode, and they are always connected. And as a result, we have seen attacks lasting months and months. Okay, very dedicated and very focused attacks that would never cease until you give up. And then, of course, attacks are larger and longer, and they are also more and more complex. So with the availability of tools, online, you can actually download, you can actually install scripts, regular, basic IT knowledge, you'll be able to become a hacker. And the ever-increasing choice of exploits and attack techniques out in the market, multi-vector attacks are now the norm. And then gone were the days where attacks were very singular, focused on a single vector. Nowadays attacks are very complicated. So one of the most commonly asked questions, usually by the victims of DDoS attacks, or maybe people that are considering getting this, who are these attackers, and why do they do what they do? So some of the most common motivation behind DDoS attacks, and it could be any of these reasons, or it could be no reasons at all. First, the most common is rivalry, where two competitors are competing with each other, and where one party will stand to benefit from the other party being taken down. So they hire their attackers to take down that, especially in like holiday seasons like Black Friday, for example. The second is what we call extortion, in which we call also ransom DDoS, where victims, random victims will receive extortion notices demanding certain Bitcoin payments. And it usually comes with a demonstration of a DDoS attack, and then with a promise of a bigger and longer attack to come if you do not pay the ransom. And then of course there's also the personal reasons like revenge, from a disgruntled employee, or it could be just activism, which is very popular nowadays. Any form of ideological, socially, or politically driven actions, just to send a statement. And then last but not least, sometimes there can't be any reason. It's as simple as because they can. They are hackers trying to show off, their exploits as well as their prowess on, on chat channels, on TikTok, whatsoever. So when it comes to cybersecurity breaches or incidents, what's usually said and what we think about in the space, it's not a matter of if one will be attacked, but more a matter of when it is going to happen. So although organizations in different industries have varying reliance and stake on their internet availability, they are one and the same when it comes to the chance of being attacked. A quick search on the internet will show you that the past incidents will show you that no industry is bad, because there are, like I mentioned earlier, there is a wide range of motivations to drive an attack. For example, Manufacturers and supply chain industries might think that they do not rely on internet services to conduct business. Okay, but manufacturers and supply chain businesses still rely on other internet-related services such as intranets, channels used to share and communicate information with their salespeople, their distribution chains, and even their customers. Those are also subjected to attacks. And a typical misconception that many have is that the size of an organization has to do with the a chance of you being in the crosshair of attackers. The fact is, small business gets attacked as much as large enterprises and government bodies. In fact, service providers as well. In fact, SMEs possess the same attack surface as any large MNCs, okay, but at the same time, they have less resource to deal with the same threats. Okay, DDoS, APT, ransomware are just a few examples of what the SMEs and other SOHOs have to contend with limited resources, and these are your customers. So now that we understand what DDoS attacks are, okay, with this very quick 101 10 minutes crunch on what DDoS, let's shift the focus on what it means for you as a wireless ISP. By I mean you as a service providers are often caught between the attackers and the target. That's what you think. And then that said, we've also seen a growing trend where attackers are actually targeting service providers directly, either your infrastructure, your VoIP services, your network services, trying to render you and to cripple you so that you cannot deliver services to your customers, or it could be just collateral damage. So at NexusGuard, we are dedicated to helping service providers deal with the DDoS problems in all sorts of ways. In general, we help service providers address the problem as a victim themselves, and also help to equip you with the ability to offer the solutions to their clients, to your customers. For now, I'd just like to focus on what we can do for you as a service provider, and then maybe we can explore possible options and how to offer this solution to your customers. So for the purpose of protecting your infrastructure, we actually offer 3 types of solution in very, very broad strokes. First is what we call a cloud-based offering. So as the name implies, a cloud-based offering is one of the most straightforward solutions to implement, and it requires minimal changes to your infrastructure. The setup of this service basically requires setting up a remote monitoring service to monitor what comes in and out of your network via monitoring your routers and stuff. And then we set up an alerting system, and then we do some routing configuration so that in the event of an attack, when you receive large amount of traffic, okay, all this traffic can be diverted to any of our nearest shopping center, whereby we drop the traffic, and then we pass you back the clean traffic so that your network will not be affected. So this cloud-based offering provides a very scalable and very cost-effective way to provide protection for your infrastructure. Everything is fully managed and backed up by our SLAs to provide you ease of mind and allowing you to concentrate on your core businesses. The second solution is an on-premise offering from NexusGuard. So over the 10 years of fighting DDoS attacks, we've created our own stack of technology that is used to fight DDoS. And unlike traditional appliance, we do not sell any appliance, but more the software platform that we will install onto bare metal machines that you can purchase yourself. Okay, so this is also to help you pass on the savings on whatever you can save on the bare metal machines. This on-premise solution from NexusGuard comes with many benefits, okay, from having multiple deployment options to protecting varying sorts of assets and applications, and we have multiple capacity options. We offer flow-based monitoring and service and etc. And this platform is also multi-tenant ready to allow you to easily and readily create and deliver your own set of security solutions to your customers. The third solution is really a combination of the first two, the cloud and on-premise, into what you will typically known as a hybrid solution. But our NexusGuard's hybrid model is unique in the sense that because we are born from the cloud and our premise is it was delivered to be built to be delivered as one with our cloud. With traditional hybrid offerings, the cloud and the hardware are disjointed, resulting in poor customer experience, lapse in detection and mitigation, and expensive per mitigation incident fees. So our model, on the other hand, addresses all of those concerns plus more, and the objective is to deliver a truly comprehensive and concurrent mitigations without all the hidden fees and procedures. It can actually give you the peace of mind. Last but not least, for the aspiring service provider looking to take that necessary step to step up their offerings and to set them apart from the competitors, but do not have the necessary expertise and skill set to do so, you can choose to take up our NexusGuard's fully managed service offering as part of what we call the Transformation Alliance program. And this program is designed to enable you as a service provider to be able to provide a full suite of services to your customers. And we do that by enabling you with people, process, and technology transference. So if you don't have a security team, okay, NexusGuard Academy will help you with training up your team. If you don't have the operations resource, a world-class SOC is at your service to provide managed service as well as the front facing for your customers. And you don't have product knowledge or you don't know how to go to the market, our product and sales and marketing team is ever ready to support you with marketing tools, go-to-market support, customer engagement, events, and stuff like that, or to bring in the customer's account as fast as possible. After all, with the 4.0 industrialization of the world, okay, and CSPs being right smack in the middle of it, you guys are in the middle of it. Providers knows that faced with competition, it is getting ever more difficult to retain customers, much less to attract new ones. The only way is to differentiate your product offering, or at the very least, stay competitive so that you won't lose out to your other competitors. So that is what we at NexusGuard will help you with. And with that, I thank you for your attention during this very short presentation. And I'll be pleased to answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, thank you so much, Donnie. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Yeah, Donnie, I got worried. I'm not sure if my devices are safe anymore. So after seeing your slides and your numbers, once more, if there is any questions from the audience, either here on the room or on the platform, please just share on the chat box. Couple of questions, Donnie. So as you mentioned, many of these cyber attacks, they have a very target mission. So normally they are very targeted to a specific website or either from the government or from a bank. You mentioned several times that normally service providers are in the middle of these attacks, but what are the implications that you see for service providers on these cyber attacks from your views?
Back when the attacks were still small, service providers are largely unaffected. So when one of their customers gets attacked, it is the customers themselves that suffers, right? And then with the infrastructure that a service provider has, they usually are able to absorb those attacks. But with attacks becoming bigger, and with attacks that are crafted specifically to also take down service providers, what happens is now service providers are also taken down at the same time as collateral damage. I mean, what better way to take down our customers than to take out their upstream providers, which is the ISPs. So in this case, we can see that there are a lot of instances whereby ISPs themselves, big and small, even the really large ones, are also impacted. So this has propelled a lot of ISP nowadays to actually look into this much more seriously, especially when now size of attacks have outgrown the pace of innovation, or rather the pace of appliance growth. So a typical moderately sized box at a 40 gig size, which used to be really powerful 3 years ago, is actually obsolete now. Okay, so the hundreds and thousands of dollars that you potentially could spend on appliance is practically ineffective. Okay, it is effective to a certain extent, but it is not going to be foolproof against DDoS attacks. So CSPs are not spared just because they might not have a immediate reason to be attacked.
Yeah, Donnie, related with the first question, what can wireless service providers and wireless ISPs, what they can do to somehow to be able to manage and somehow to try to avoid these cyber attacks? Is there anything that they can do on their network and their portfolio of services?
So we've worked with a lot of wireless ISPs, and interestingly, DDoS protection, or rather the awareness of DDoS protection amongst YSPs, remains generally low as compared to the typical typical ISPs. Mainly because they usually do not run any services. For example, content, they do not host contents. They usually do connectivity and stuff like that. But I think past years, we have seen a lot of evidence, VoIP services being attacked, wireless ISPs being attacked. We've seen that there are a lot of these attacks coming on, targeting services that the wireless ISPs host, as well as the wireless ISPs themselves. So what we have seen so far is generally wireless ISPs infrastructure, when you're talking about appliance and equipments, are generally not scaled to be able to handle large attacks. Okay, and what we have done with a lot of ISPs, wireless ISPs, is to create very customized solutions by first beginning to provide them with a visibility of what's going on in their network. Okay, so I think the first step of setting up a strategy to fight against DDoS attacks is to start by getting visibility into your network. And that has been our focus with some of our customers. So we also offer some visibility solutions that helps customers without the right hardware, like for example, routers that are capable of sending telemetry and stuff like that. So we work together with partners to create very customized solution for smaller wireless ISPs in particular that has no options. And I think this has given them an opportunity to have a better insight into what's happening, and therefore will be able to think about how to upscale that protection. I think what's important for CSPs is to first get the mindset that the attack is coming. Okay, it's going to happen sooner or later. Is your infrastructure ready to handle it when it comes? Because if you were to look at examples from all over the world, wireless ISPs, I remember last year in South Africa, there was an ISP that was taken down for a couple of days. In fact, because they did not have whatever it took to be able to even subscribe to a protection service. So the outage was in number of days, and that could be catastrophic to any business. Imagine the amount of reputation loss and trust and the customers that jump to another competitor. So this is something that a wireless ISPs has to consider, and yeah, they should talk to someone.
Yeah, thank you, Donnie. There is one more question from the audience.
Hear me? Yeah. Are there any users' traffic being logged in the cloud-based setup?
Can you repeat that again? Sorry, I think I got part of the question.
Are there any users' traffic being logged in the cloud-based setup?
Are there any
users' traffic being logged?
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so can I repeat the question? Are there any users' traffic being stored onto the cloud when they use the service?
Yeah, it says being logged. I think it means, is there any tracking of that traffic?
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to network protection solutions, there are actually, broadly speaking, there are actually two kinds of protection that we do. One is a protection at the application layer. So we're talking about protecting against websites. So obviously there might be caching of content and stuff like that. Okay, that is typically happens on the CDN level, like a CDN, if you were to think of it that way. The other kind of services that we provided, which I shared earlier, is called a network protection service. So in that particular kind of protection, the aim is to protect the CSPs against volumetric attacks. So we are looking at headers, we are looking at IP addresses, we are looking at flow-based information. So we actually protect against volumetric attacks. So we do not store any data of any kind. So basically looking at source IP, destination IP, protocols, flags, and so on and so forth. So we do not keep any payloads. So we basically drop all the attack traffic, and then we pass on the clean traffic to the customers. And yeah, so the deployment of such solution is usually asymmetric. We only protect the incoming. So then definitely we do not see any outgoing traffic. Therefore, any return traffic is returned directly by your origin. So yeah, in short, the answer is no.
Yeah, thank you so much, Donnie, for your participation and for supporting this event. It was fantastic to have you on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everybody.